On this week's episode, Peloton Row is officially launched with pre-sales in the US.
And Peloton is rolling out new features across devices and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to our century episode of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel, and I'm joined by my co-host, John Pruitt. Hey, John.
Where's our century Pelo Buddy badge?
Yeah, Chris Lewis needs to send us our century Pelo Buddy t-shirt. We need our t-shirts coming in the mail. That's pretty
Hopefully
awesome.
We'll get them a lot sooner.
That's pretty awesome. Well, I know that I'm really thrilled that you said yes when we asked you to join the team. And I know it's not your 100th episode, but that's just awesome. I mean, we got to 100 episodes. And clearly we are known out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when you become a drop down on the Peloton Qualtrics, questionnaire or
the feedback page.
Come on. Feedback page, right? I mean, that was just fantastic. So
well, we should give a little context for give the context so people.
All right, I'll give the context.
Who didn't see your story on Instagram earlier.
Yeah, so for folks that are listening or watching, we made it to the Peloton Row drop down for folks that were who had pre-ordered and got a questionnaire as to how you heard about Peloton Row, and Pelo Buddy was one of the drop downs. So that was pretty cool.
It's pretty funny.
I think we all got a kick out of it. I was really happy for Chris Lewis, and I got quite a couple DMs saying, I picked that one. Hence us being part of that. So that was really cool.
I think it's safe to say we've made it as a very as a non-official Peloton resource. Out there. Being recognized in that way, especially with when they tweeted us, when Chris Lewis caught that all for one accidental tweet that they quickly deleted, and then they shouted us out with the tweet that they deleted afterwards. I think they know we're a resource that a lot of people use and depend on for all the breaking news.
And you know what? We give the legit stuff. It's everything that everybody wants to hear about. And as we've said many, many times, we keep it, really down to what it's all about and stay away from any of the TMZ type stuff, and just really want to share with you guys what's going on in the Peloton world, from that previous week. Well, it was a fun, good week for me, having celebrated my birthday this past week.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. It was, I pretty much got stuck in from 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning and went through to 7 p.m. on Wednesday night. And it was worth it. Tons of shout outs, tons of fun workouts with community members. And for those of you that watched the show and were able to jump on some of the stuff that I did, I really appreciate it. It was really a fun day. My family asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, just leave me alone. And, I'm staying in my gym. So it worked for everybody. It was definitely a fun time. And did you have a good week?
Yeah, it was nice. The weather's getting cooler, so it's here in Michigan. It's nice. Open your window at night weather. You can turn off the air conditioning finally and hunker down. So it feels like fall has finally arrived. And I kind of took it, Monday and Tuesday with the studios both closed and not broadcasting live classes. I took it easy. It's just kind of a nice way to, just chill out.
I mean, I have
some rest, downtime.
Yeah, I mean, I took the rest of the week off because I was in studio last weekend, which was fantastic. Another amazing weekend in the studio. Got to ride with Kendall, got to walk with Jess, yoga with Aditi, and then a run with Maddie. And I'll talk about some of them in picks of the week because they truly were fantastic workouts. But you know, folks, for anybody that's asking, I certainly have got no preferential in getting into the classes. It truly is a crapshoot. And there were a lot of people that reached out and said, hey, you know, how do you get in? And how come you getting in? And, you know, I'm sitting there at 12 o'clock like everybody else trying to get in. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So, you know, just know that. And in fact, I even chatted about it in studio with some of the folks that work there. And, you know, one dude was saying that his wife hasn't even been able to get in. Now, that's not to say that I think some of the instructors do keep a couple slots available. I don't think that they release everything. That's my assumption. I think, you know, if there are 17 treads, I think that maybe, you know, 14 are coming up as an option. And there are, you know, a couple that may be left, certainly in the US. And there may be a couple because there are definitely friends of instructors that have been in there and that type of thing, admins. So that may be from that perspective. But other than that, it's just a crapshoot. And it's, you know, I'm hoping that in time it'll ease up. But it was a fun weekend. It was a really fun weekend. And it's always amazing to get to see, you know, new Pelo friends that we've connected with. I had Moms of Peloton, Melissa. She was back in.
She's getting around the studio a lot lately, along with you.
She was another one.
Spending a lot of time.
Yeah, she was another one that was, you know, kind of harassed about getting into the studio, and we chatted about it, and we both said, you know, it's like we just got lucky. So yeah, well, I guess let's kick right into it. So, folks, before we get started with the news, we'd like to remind you how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button to make sure that you never miss an episode.
Yep, and you can also listen to us if you prefer audio only. We're on all traditional podcast platforms. Just search Pelo Buddy TV. Make sure you subscribe and hit notifications so you never miss an episode.
Yeah, and finally, we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Just search for Pelo Buddy and follow us on those platforms for all of the latest news. And now, John, let's get on with the show.
All right.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
And so the wait, folks, is finally over. Well, at least for Peloton members in the US. As of Tuesday, September 26th, the Peloton Row was officially available for pre-sale. And for a whopping $3,195. I think a pretty hefty price tag. I mean, we had reported that that's what it was rumored it was going to be. If you've been watching the show regularly, we kind of gave that to you as a pre-warning as what the cost was going to be. But seeing it when you're plugging in your information and getting ready to order definitely was a kind of moment. And, you know, I think that for many, is not going to be an option just because it is quite a hefty price tag and there is no financing being offered. And I think that's the kicker, that folks are not able to finance it, you know, not even for a year, not even period. So I think that, you know, there is no question that is something that folks were truly, truly upset about. And there was definitely chatter back and forth about that. For those of you that are interested and would like to try it out first, there are 18 showrooms around the US that are offering members the ability to try it out. You can head over to pelobody.com to see a full list and whether there's a showroom near you. But I know know, John, that you got to try it out. I am scheduled for this weekend, so I am looking forward to going to try it out this weekend. But tell me, I mean, you did get the opportunity. What do you think?
So it's really nice. And first off, shout out to the Troy, Michigan showroom. There's one guy in particular, Steve, there, who, I bought my Tread Plus through, our second bike through. I mean, they're great. And they always, they've hosted a lot of local events that we've done there pre-COVID. But he was always in touch with me, and he said, it's being set up now as we speak. And so I went in and I mean, there was nobody else around it. Like, people were in there, looking at bikes and the tread. But I mean, it's very nice. It's very clean and sleek, and it's actually very light. When I picked it up to sort of stand it up, and there's not a lot of weight to it. It was very easy, really effortlessly, just sort of put it up into that sort of standing position. Yeah. And it's super quiet.
That's
super
awesome. Quiet. I mean, the dimensions for it are pretty, I mean, it is pretty big as far as dimensions go. It's 8 feet by 2 feet, which I thought was kind of long, right?
It's definitely long, and I measured out, so I was curious about the mat that comes with it, because that initial package that you can get, if you don't want to get just the rower, you can get the water bottle and the mat, I think. And the mat, I measured it out, and it's about 8 feet, 7 inches long, and then 3 inches wide. So it looks just like that black mat that you would buy with the bike, but it's just stretched out. It's just stretched out much longer.
Got it.
Yeah, so it does take up some length. It's not very wide. The width-wise, the footprint isn't very big, but I think it would look really nice right next to our tread on the end down in the basement.
Of course it would. Yeah, but you were impressed with it?
I was, yeah. And there was already a lot of content that I could choose from. I mean, boot camp content, a bunch of rowing classes. I put on a rowing class with Matt Wilpers, and then I put on a boot camp class with Adrian. I just wanted to see it. I wasn't like really taking the class. I had my guy there at the showroom. I wanted to put together a little fun TikTok video and Instagram reel for it, since it just came out that day. So, and I swiveled the screen. The screen basically swivels all the way around, just basically as far around 25 degrees?
45 degrees, 45 degrees, yeah.
45 degrees.
From what I understand, that tablet is the same size as the Bike Plus and the tread, and the regular tread.
Yeah, looks like the exact same tablet, probably the same hardware in it. Yeah, which is nice. It's got that big
does have that swivel.
Speaker.
Yeah.
The foot, strapping your feet in was pretty simple. Nice rubbery hand. I mean, a very, the ergonomics seemed nice. And now you just got to, you order it, now you just got to wait a long time to get it.
Right, which is so frustrating. So just to reiterate, folks, it is a Velcro strap that they have designed, which basically is allowing for quick transition. So if you are doing a boot camp and you're on the rower and then getting off, the Velcro makes it easy to, get in and out of it. So that was the thought process behind doing the Velcro, Velcro straps. I understand, John, there's also a cup holder and kind of the accessory tray, probably similar to the regular tread, that's built into the front center of the row, correct?
Yeah, it's a small space. It's not super big, but yeah, it's like a little storage, almost like a center console storage, area, kind of like you'd have in your car.
Probably
kind of
the same. Okay, it's probably a similar
throw your phone and a water bottle
to the tread, to the regular tread. So that regular tread now has a small little thing for 2 water bottles and and your phone. And then, folks, just to add to what John is saying, also it we had previously reported that the Row is able to stand up against a wall so that you can store it. It does come with an upright wall anchor to help secure it while it is upright. So while delivery and setup of the Row itself is included in the price, the installation of the wall anchor is not included. So just be aware of that. They give it to you, but it's not included. And I guess one of the biggest features being promoted with the Peloton Row is called Form Assist, which is Peloton's term for real-time form feedback. And that's, obviously the major feature of the Peloton Row. So you really can kind of told what you're doing, which I think is awesome.
Yeah,
being able
this was
to know.
really cool because when I was doing the rowing class with Matt Wilpers, it doesn't just watch you through the camera. My guy at the showroom told me you basically calibrate the rowing. There's a whole calibration process where it calibrates it to your height and weight.
Correct.
So that's for each person using the tread. So it'll vary. But when I was rowing, it would light up red in different areas of where I was off in my form. So that was kind of cool to see and, kind of adjust real time, where I needed to sit up more or extend my arms out a little bit less. So that was kind of cool. And it was also interesting to see in one of the classes, looking in the all time, there was like 115 people. I saw all these random leaderboards there. So obviously there was a lot of people testing this.
Wow.
Out there in the field beforehand. So that was kind of interesting to see. I didn't see any leaderboard names I recognized of folks, who are probably testing it, but that was kind of funny to see that.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, I really like that personal calibration. As you said, I think it detects your position and recommends in a personalized way for you to improve your form. So that's awesome because that is something that I think, is important to be able to do it properly since some people never rode.
I thought there was some sort of knob for adjusting resistance of the the strap, the band that you're pulling in and out, but it's nothing like that because I saw somebody comment on the Pelo Buddy social media post, like, how do you adjust the resistance? There's no sort of like adjustment like that. It just does it automatically. What we're getting from control room is there's a drag factor you can adjust before you start the workout. And then, but it's not something you can adjust during it. So it's kind of like control room said, a set it and forget it type of feature.
Perfect. And there also is the levels. So it kind of increases your level. So as you can kind of start out at level 1, and then as you get stronger and better, you do go up with levels. All right. So your speed, what we're getting is that your speed level. So they actually call out a speed level when you're doing, when you're rowing, and then that can change as you progress. So some cool features, and I love the way I love the way that it's really focused on form and making sure that you're actually doing it properly. Since you're doing it out of your house. So, and of course we will, as we always do, we will provide you folks with probably about a 10-minute video that'll come out on YouTube from Chris, really delving into how to use it properly. If you don't, because there are only 18 showrooms that you're able to go into to actually physically try it out. So for those folks that are located somewhere where you aren't able to, Chris will put together a how-to in Peloton Row, and that will that'll come in the next couple of days, and you guys will be able to certainly take a look at it from there. So everybody will get a taste of how the Peloton Row, works. As I was preparing for the story, though, John, I will say that it is kind of a bummer that the U.S. got it first, and that the UK have to wait. I know that tons of UK folk are very disappointed that they're having to wait for it. But hopefully...
In Canada, too. Yeah.
Canada. Literally Germany, Canada, just the US, and of course Australia. I'm curious to know if Australia even get it, since they didn't get the tread. I'm curious to see whether they'll get access to purchase the Peloton Row. So we'll have to see. So tell us about
classes. Yeah, so on the Peloton Row, so in a newly updated and published FAQ page regarding the rower on support.onepeloton.com, it has revealed a very important little detail that has a lot of folks angry about, based on some of the negative comments we've seen, in addition to about the price. But it sounds like that the classes will be exclusive to members that have the Peloton Row hardware. So if you're an existing member and say you just have the bike or the tread, or you're just on the app in the US, you won't have access to the rowing classes when they launch. So similar to the guide. For folks, they have exclusive content initially for guide owners for that hardware. So, they said our full library of rowing content will only be available on the Peloton Row in the US. A small subset of those classes will be available at a later time on iOS, Android, and the web for existing members for trial. So obviously they want to push people to get the hardware and not, go on their Concept 2 or their Hydro or, some other device. They really want to get the hardware in people's hands. So it's understandable, but obviously people are pretty irritated about that.
Frustrated, sure.
Yeah, because they've been waiting, this has been teased for so long, it feels like. And we still have a few months until, we'll actually get it for folks that pre-ordered.
You don't have a delivery.
Sometime in December.
No delivery dates. I know I didn't get a delivery date. Yeah, nothing yet. And as far as live classes, we're hearing that they will begin in 2023. Peloton has said this on their social media and FAQ pages. We're going to put out, a full article about that at a later date. We'll have more information as we get word. But also, are the rowing coaches that we've talked about since this, beginning of this summer, that we heard are going to be the new coaches to Peloton, not existing coaches. We've got that confirmed as well. But all those coaches are confirmed now that we've discussed previously. So Peloton confirmed those coaches. 3 brand new ones, like we mentioned before. We talked about them: Pryor, Alex Karwoski, Katie Wang, and then our existing coaches on the Peloton team, Wang, and Adrian Williams and Matt Wilpers will also be teaching on the rower. But over the summer, we had speculated that Olympian rower Alex Karwoski was in training with Peloton, and he competed in the 2000 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. He was an alternate at the 2020 games that took place in 2021 in Tokyo. And his brother is a Hydro. His brother Nick is a Hydro instructor, coincidentally. And then Katie Wang. We also had shared last month a rumor that that former Barry's boot camp instructor, she would be joining the Peloton team, and she was confirmed as well. So I mean, her boot camp background is a perfect fit for the rowing roster, since Peloton confirmed that they would be adding that modality to the rower. And then it was funny. Just last week, we had shared a sneak peek at rowing classes, some pictures from the Peloton Studios New York control room there. I guess they were getting ready to film some content. And so we saw some of the screenshots, her initials there, and that she would also be teaching some strength classes as well. So that will be interesting when those finally come out later. And then Pryor is the third new instructor on the rower. She's a former coach with a boutique rowing fitness studio called Row House. And we had shared, I think last week, that she was likely to be one of the new instructors joining. She's also the founder of Relentless Rowing Academy, which is a nonprofit focused on breaking down barriers for BIPOC and para-athletes in the sport of rowing through education, financial support, and mentorship. And she was diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease, which is an autoimmune disorder, a few years ago, and has said how instrumental rowing was in helping her navigate that illness. Yeah.
But the Peloton blog has full interviews with all three of them if you want to, read more about them and their backgrounds.
Awesome. Yeah, and then tell us about go ahead.
Yeah, so there's this new activity feed that we are now seeing that's currently, it's being beta tested on the Peloton web browser, but the little pop-up, and if you're watching this, I'm sure we'll have some screenshots being posted. I'm sure there'll be some social media posts and an article at some point on pelobuddy.com about it. But there's a little pop-up that says, keep up with the Peloton community through the new activity feed. And it's almost like, it's similar to Strava. I guess it's kind of in direct competition. They have something similar in place right now for folks on Strava, where you can see people that you follow, their recent classes that they've taken, and then you can click this little high five icon, which is almost similar to giving a like on Facebook on a post. And then you can see they'll be, if they look at it, they'll see their little tally of high fives, like a like count. But it basically just says, see your followers' latest activity, send high fives and more. And then there's a little button that says explore feed, or you can click cancel just to go out of it. But yeah, like I said, it's currently in beta testing, and, we'll have, that's kind of pretty much all we have on it right now. I was looking on the app. I wasn't sure where I could find this, but yeah, it's just on the web browser currently for some. And I don't know if you found that on the web browser yourself. I didn't see it.
No, me neither. But that's kind of fun. Definitely something, fun.
Yeah, all right, another interactive feature.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, moving on, it looks like the guide has some new features, including rep tracking as well as weight rack features. So according to Peloton's blog, The Output, these have been the most member requested features since the guide was launched back in April. So the rep tracking feature is an AI-powered personal training feature, both to help the member track, improve, and gain more strength over time. It counts every rep, sets your target goals, and tracks the weight that you use for an intelligent strength training system. So that is really, really cool that they've added this now, and they're definitely expanding and figuring out how they can make the guide, more user-friendly and for folks kind of like what they're doing with the Row, where it really tells you what you're doing. So Peloton added 3 new collections with new classes being added every week with the rep counts, individual exercise reps. They are counted, for example, so if you perform 20 reps of goblet squats with a 20-pound dumbbell, you'll get credit for 400 pounds of total value. So, definitely very cool. Yeah. It also keeps track of time-based movements, such as planks. So by setting targets in seconds or minutes and counting how long you hold it. So for example, a 30-second plank, for instance, the guide will count your hold until you hit that 30-second target mark. As far as the new collections for the guide go, they've added in the Century collection, which is the ability for one to master a single movement and push oneself to 100 reps. The Rapid Out, which allows you to see how many reps you can rack up in 10 minutes. And then the Pump Up the Volume, which lets you cultivate your strength in a 4-week series, giving you the ability to focus on increasing reps and weights for a few movements over time. So, and just to add to it, it looks like Peloton has updated the pricing for the guide. So originally it was $24 a month until January, but it seems though that they've actually changed the language about that introductory offer. They've removed it completely. So now the guide owners will keep paying $24 a month and not see a price increase at the end of the year. So that was interesting, that they're doing that. So these amazing new features, I guess I need to dust off my guide.
I was about to ask, have you used your guide?
I need to dust it off and start using it. I know. I have to.
You could probably get some good money on the secondary market for that if you want to.
Probably, huh? Maybe.
I'll give you $100.
I'm telling you, I may take it. Now I just have to do it. I have to use it. I do like these extra features, though. I think that these new features just add to the value of what the guide really should be able to do.
It's a lot of what people were expecting and have been asking for.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of features, so Peloton is adding a new element to the Just Workout feature. So, it's called Just with Goals, and it'll allow members to add a specific goal, such as a particular distance, a time, or output to their Just Workout session and workout. So according to a newly published Peloton support page, the feature will be available on the Bike, Bike Plus, and Tread devices. But as of recording today, it does not appear that it's been fully rolled out just yet. But it'll be available for either the Just Run or the Just Ride on the hardware devices. So not on the app or not on the web browser. And also not on the additional class types that we had just recently, I think, reported on last week that were just recently added to the Just Workout section. So one of the sample images, though, provided in the support page has rowing metrics on the screen, indicating this could be rolled out to the Peloton Row once members start getting that device in their hands. So when you select either Just Run or Just Ride, you'll be able to choose from 4 experiences. Either no goal, time goal, distance goal, or output goal. So it's kind of cool if you're wanting to not do a regular class and just go on your own and actually set a specific goal you're looking to hit.
Yeah, awesome. All right, and moving along, it looks, folks, that Peloton and United Healthcare, which we actually spoke about last week, are continuing to provide millions of more people access to the platform. So what we've learned this week is that United now have a newly expanded agreement with as many as 10 million United Healthcare commercial members being eligible for a year-long subscription to the Peloton App membership. If you already have the membership, you can receive a 3-month waiver toward the All Access membership. And this is at no additional cost towards your healthcare benefit. So it really is a fantastic extra benefit if you are a United Healthcare member here in the US. We also believe that eligible United Healthcare members in most states in the US will receive preferred pricing on select Peloton hardware, so including the Bike Plus, and the Tread. I do not know, it did not say whether or not the Row was going to be included in that. So I'm not sure if folks looking to purchase the Row and have United Healthcare will get any deal by being a United member. But that's something to definitely look out for, and we'll definitely report back if that does change.
Great. Well, Peloton has continued their Broadway series with music now from the musical Moulin Rouge. Classes all went down this past Wednesday, September 21st. It included 5 different classes across 3 modalities. There was 2 rides, 2 runs, and a yoga flow. And we also had a special 2-for-1 ride that featured Sam Yo and Bradley Rose, which was their first 2-for-1 ride for both of them. But we have, the whole breakdown of all the Broadway classes, including all of the previous ones on pelobuddy.com if you want to see some of the other artist series. But we had a 10-minute cool down ride, which was with Leanne. That dropped on demand. And then the 30-minute 2-for-1 ride with Sam and Bradley. And then there was a 30-minute Moulin Rouge, the musical run with German instructor Tobias Heinz. That was in German. And then a 30-minute yoga flow with Kristen McGee. And then a 30-minute run with Maddie Majacomo. Those are all now in the library, available to take. And Moulin Rouge, the musical, I haven't seen it on Broadway. It's based on the 2001 film that stars Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman. Jackie, on a personal note, Jackie loves this musical. She was in London when she saw it. The movie rather. It's funny. I like to make fun of it because there's just some, there's just so over the top. But it's the 7th installment of the Peloton Broadway series, which launched back in 2020. So we've had quite a few since then, including Andrew Lloyd Webber, Wicked, Dear Evan Hansen, Hamilton, which was a huge one, In the Heights, and Rent. And we were supposed to have earlier, I think this year, we were supposed to have a Jagged Little Pill Broadway series, and then it was quickly kind of canceled without any notice, because there was, I guess, a pending lawsuit with a former cast member. So it just seemed like they just quickly pulled the plug and shifted away from that one.
Yeah, well, I have to tell you, John, this was probably one of my favorite. I was able to get all of it done. It was a wonderful present from Peloton for my birthday, being Wednesday. So I just attacked all of it. The only one I didn't do was Tobias's, which I actually will attempt to do. But I thought it was fantastic. I'm a huge Moulin Rouge. I mean, it is one of my favorite all-time Broadway shows. I've seen it both in London and in the US. And I saw the old version, and they've updated it. So there was an older version of the movie, and then they updated it with more modern songs within the past. I think that one came out in 2019. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant production. Brilliant.
So
production.
the classes that you took so far, did they mix in music
Everything.
From the Broadway and from the movie?
Yeah.
Because
So
Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor, they sing all their songs in the movie.
No,
they do all their singing.
No movie. It was no movie. It was just the Broadway. But they did do the old show.
Okay.
Maddie did primarily. I think Maddie may have been all new, if I'm not mistaken. I believe in the ride. They did a couple of the old, of the old tracks from the old one. But it was fantastic. Just got caught up in the music, and I loved hearing Maddie's accolades of. I mean, he just the history and the knowledge that he has. Obviously he's an unbelievable Broadway buff, and being able to share that, doing it. I didn't know, half of the facts that he gave, which were just amazing. I'll talk about it more in Picks of the Week, but it was amazing.
He does his homework and his research on
for sure,
some of those
and I
artists,
love that.
Those special classes.
That.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
they know their
like
stuff.
That. Yeah.
So we also have some Oktoberfest classes in celebration of Oktoberfest in Germany. We got 2 rides with Eric Jaeger. One's in German. That's 30 minutes. It's going down at 2 p.m. Eastern time on Monday the 26th. And then right before that, he's teaching a 20-minute Oktoberfest ride in English at 1:30 Eastern. And then we have a 30-minute Oktoberfest run in German with Tobias Heinz at noon Eastern, also on Monday the 26th. So be sure to catch those live if you're able to do them.
Awesome. And also our German members have 3 new strength programs that have dropped with Asel Arian. They are 1-week programs labeled the stretch, the overhead squat, and the clean and jerk. Each 1-week program contains 6 classes, although the same 5-minute full body strength warm-up is repeated in every workout. The good news, though, folks, is that the majority of these classes have English subtitles. So those of you who have discovered Asal and would like to do her strength programs will at least be able to follow along if you can pump weights and read at the same time. But that is really nice that they're starting to do that. And again, I'm just praying that they continue to push these on-demand classes of the German instructors out with subtitles, because so many folks are begging for it. So let's hope that they continue to do that.
I feel like they'd have a lot more people that would be willing to do the classes if there was English subtitles.
Yeah, 100%.
So, it'd really benefit the company in increasing the exposure for the German instructors.
Sure.
So a little bug on the iOS app that has just recently been reported, which Peloton has acknowledged, that if you have the current, which I have on my iPhone, if you have the current iOS 16 software update, which recently rolled out, Peloton posted an official incident report to their status channel saying they are currently investigating an issue where you can't download, you can't preload on-demand classes. So if you have ever used that feature, it's kind of nice if you're in an area where you have spotty service and you want to go to the gym and load a class on your app, on your iPad or your iPhone or whatever, mobile device. There's a little icon to basically, it's like, download into the cloud. I tested it out because I haven't used that feature in a while, and it just looks like it's downloading, and then when it's almost finished, all of a sudden it goes back to the icon to just download it again. So
yeah, so
I
must be honest, I didn't download the new iOS 16 for exactly that reason, because I do use that feature, especially with when I'm down in Miami and I want to, sometimes the Wi-Fi is not great in the gym, and I want to make sure that I get onto I want to be on a class that I'm trying to get onto. So I have to say that I hope they fix it quickly, because I'd like to be able, I'm planning on getting the new 14, so I definitely want to be able to utilize, the app and the phone at the same time. So I hope that they do fix that. And then it looks like another one bites the dust. Chief Information Officer Shabana Alawalia has handed in her resignation after just 2 years with the company, and she will be leaving the leadership team. So Shabana had announced on her LinkedIn her departure with a very nice note, and I will go ahead and quote, after an amazing 2 years, I have clipped out of my Peloton ride. # forever grateful for this adrenaline-laden experience with a fantabulous group of people. I will continue to be Peloton's biggest cheerleader. I look forward to taking some time off to travel, focus on some passion projects, advising companies, learning Spanish and farming, and rejuvenate. I will see you all on the leaderboard. So a very nice, farewell little note for folks. I love the innuendos and the puns she used, but interesting as to why she's leaving. But another one is heading out the door. Yeah.
Well, that wraps up our regular news portion of the show. Now we have a little bit of instructor in the news, and I'll kick it off with Kendall. So she was recently at the Buffalo Bills game last weekend. The game was on Monday night, but she was there over the weekend to speak about the importance of mental health. We know Kendall is a big mental health advocate through sharing her own struggles that she's gone through, but she was there to talk about it within the Buffalo community, and there was a fitness event on the field. So she was being interviewed by the Bills team reporter, Maddie Glad, and everyone was gathered around on the field in front of them on yoga mats. So it looked like they had some sort of group fitness event there for everyone to take part in. And then she was there for the actual game, which was the Monday Night Football game, which incidentally the Bills won 41-7 over the Tennessee Titans. So she got to see a great Bills win.
It had to have been what she did with them over the weekend.
So she seemed, in her Instagram post, she really seemed to embrace and understand the culture of the Buffalo Bills fans that are the Bills known as the Bills Mafia. So she fully was into it, and she was in a fun Buffalo Bills apparel jacket. So it looks like she had a great time. It was great weather. Obviously it's nice right now up in Buffalo because it's not freezing cold the way it will get later in the season, which just sounds brutal to me, being for a Buffalo Bills game in the dead of winter.
Exactly. All right. And Robin Arzon was featured in self.com in an article titled Why Peloton's Robin Arzon Believes Balance is Actually a Myth. And once again, Self Magazine's Michelle Kay, who we've spoken about, has done some amazing reporting on the Peloton instructors. And I know just recently got to meet a lot of them in person when she was down and worked out of the studio a couple weeks ago and hung out with them. So I was so excited to see that Michelle had such an amazing time with some of them that she had really just chatted to over Zoom or, on the telephone. But she put together an incredible article talking about how the word balance is not in Robin's vocabulary. And apparently she's proud of it. So if you want to read more, certainly head over to pelobuddy.com to take a read. Chris has the article linked there on the webpage.
Great. And a couple of belated birthdays to some of the instructors. Eric Yeager had a birthday this past week, as well as the queen herself, Robin Arzon. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday to both of them. And I guess, John, we'll kick right into our
picks of the week.
And I will kick it off since that first one is mine. Yes, Disneyland. Kendall's 30-minute Disney ride from the 16th, 9 a.m., live member in studio. And folks, it was incredible. The vibe.
Amazing.
She actually switched her time. It was supposed to be on a Saturday. She had a commitment on the Saturday, so she switched it to Friday morning. Timing was perfect for me, and it kicked off an incredible weekend at the studio. She truly was in her element. I just honestly could see her. And she was the very last instructor I had worked out with at 23rd Street before the studio closed. So it was really nice to be back in studio with her, with her 2 years
face
later.
Face to face.
Work had also recommended that as their pick of the week, but she just picked amazing songs. She shared some
I'm looking at the playlist.
stories.
There's a lot of...
It was amazing.
She really packed in a lot of songs for 30 minutes. But Disney songs, they can be a lot of them are pretty short. But yeah.
But if you guys want to jump on, you'll see Seglo 3 in my mermaid, Brittany Allen, there's the plug, bra top, clapping away. But it was truly a magical experience.
Nice.
All right. I'll just go with the next three. All right. So next up is Adrian Williams' Thunder 45 Tread Bootcamp, also from the 16th. It was at 12 noon, and FKL 0413 said, first Thunder 45 in a month. Glad to have them back. And I bumped Adrian after he came out, and he was just so happy to be back on the schedule. And it wasn't a live member, but it was a live boot camp that he was
I did
doing.
It live. It was.
Did you do it live?
I did it live, yeah, because normally Friday mornings he does a 30-minute boot camp. Usually the Thunder 45 is traditionally on Sunday mornings. But since the schedule has shifted a little bit, they've changed it up. But it was also the 1-year anniversary of the Thunder 45 since it began.
I don't think
it was a great class.
I knew that just before, when he was excited to find out that it really was that. What an amazing human that guy is, I got to tell you. And then Jess King's 30-minute Gloria Estefan walk, again from that Friday, 5 p.m. I was not alone. It was my pick of the week, but K Bass 63 recommended the walk too. All I got to tell you, folks, is that God bless the instructors, especially the pregnant ones. Jess King was on an incline of 10, chatting away like there was no tomorrow with this beautiful round belly, and I was dying next to her. And I do not know how these instructors are doing it, but they truly are superheroes. Jess's knowledge of Gloria Estefan, her history and her background, talking about her own Latino, heritage was amazing in there. And I loved what Peloton ended up doing. For those of us in the studio, they put together a little reel of us doing the Congo line. So they did Jess King's first, and then they did Robin's after, and then they put them together. So it was really fun as we pranced around the studio doing Gloria Estefan's conga. It was very fun. Well,
next up, we have John Hosking's 30-minute pop run from the 17th, submitted by Noah Blanky. And they said he had a different level of energy today. And then I'll take the next one. Rad Lopez's 20-minute glutes and legs strength from the 17th as well, submitted by NY Curl Girl. She said his first class back with members.
Awesome. And then Maddie Majacomo, my rounding up of my Friday in the studio was his 30-minute Disney run. And I got to tell you, folks, I went in there thinking my legs are so sore. I had done the ride, I had done yoga with a DT, and now I was going to jump on and run on the tread. And sheepishly, I took one of the treads that I thought wasn't in the camera view because it was actually in facing Maddie, but I forgot that in the New York studio there's a mirror. Which I'm not sure was the reason my legs just kind of, went faster or not, but wow. He walked in his Tinkerbell outfit, which was so cute, and he had his feather, his wand and his butterfly wings that he had borrowed from Olivia Amato. He said that when Olivia had done a Disney something a couple years ago, she had them, and he was like, don't throw those out. I think those will come in handy. And he found them in his locker, he said, all crumpled up, but he ironed them out and put them on his back and his sparkly green pants, which he proceeded to then take off in front of us, and obviously was humorous about that. But what a fun, amazing run that he did. So definitely recommend that as one to do. And then Logan Aldridge, he did a 45-minute full body strength. The Olivia Nicole had recommended that one. Great for a challenging workout. And that was from the 17th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern.
Right. And Leanne Haynesby is up next, her 30-minute 2000s rock ride from September 18th. We got that one from our friend Daisy Mack and Work. They said the playlist was epic. Every song pick was perfection. And then Allie Loves, while we're on the rides, Allie Loves 30-minute feel-good ride from September 18th, submitted by the Olivia Nicole. And she said every single song hits.
Fantastic. All right, next up, Bex Gentry, her 30-minute Our Future Selves with Natalie Portman. That was from the 20th. It was 10 a.m. Eastern time that it dropped. We got that pick from Runner 3834. Great chat with Natalie Portman and Ashton Kutcher this week. I have not done that one yet, and I adore Natalie Portman. So I'm looking forward to jumping on the tread with that one. And then Olivia Amada, Rachel Blaufelt recommended this one. It was a 30-minute Latin EDM run from the 21st, Wednesday at 7 a.m. Good, fun class to start the morning with.
And then our friend Bertha C Runs MD submitted Tobias Heinz's 30-minute Moulin Rouge run, which was in German from the 21st of September. She said very few shout outs, just a lot of amazing music. So it's a great run to make as easy or hard as you want. And then while we're on Moulin Rouge, Bradley Rose and Sam Yo's 30-minute 2-for-1 Moulin Rouge ride from the 21st. Oh, that's one of yours. I should have let you take that one, Amanda.
There were a ton of folks that recommended, and I recommended it as a pick of the week because it was a 2-for-1. I didn't know anybody else would. I assumed people would, but I wanted to make sure it was out there. I loved it. Again, I'm a huge Moulin Rouge fan. I think the music's fantastic. I loved how Bradley and Sam interacted. But it was interesting because I got a lot of comments when I posted having done it, and that I thought it was amazing that folks said they thought that it was chaotic and different. And it was definitely a different experience. Firstly, having the two guys on the bike, their interaction with one another. They came out in eye makeup, dressed the same, but the energy that they both gave off, I thought just really did push you. And I wasn't alone. So while it was my pick of the week, it also came from M. Newman 8, Robin Ra, Chameleonaire, DB Wears 50, Rihata, H.L. Dalton, Zeraphilus 1, Noah Smolsky 71, and Lindy.
I know.
Let's give Lindy Lou and Netta had also recommended it. So I wanted to make sure those folks got a shout out as well for picking Bradley Rose's ride.
2-for-1. It just seems, when you said energy, you got comments. It's just funny because it's total opposite when I think of energy, because Bradley Rose is like he's almost like, this spasmodic ball of energy,
right?
And Sam is like super chill Yen Buddha, Buddhist type energy. So it's just I can only imagine what that was like with the two of them side by side. Must have been interesting.
Well, look, Sam is a huge Broadway nut. I mean, he absolutely loves Broadway, and everything about Broadway is totally Sam. I wouldn't have picked Bradley as the compliment to Sam. I really did think that Leanne would have gotten that. She did do her cool down, which was magnificent, a 10-minute cool down. She looked magnificent. It was amazing. What do I see this? Okay.
Want me to take the last two?
Well, one of them, go ahead. You can take Justin's and I'll do the last one because it was mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Jocelyn, and there was a note about the 2-for-1 ride. It says stick around until the camera goes off at the end of this ride. I guess there's one little extra
course. I thought that note was for us. Folks, stick around because when it ends, I'm assuming it's on demand as well. Bradley and Sam give us a quite hilarious show. Oh, no spoilers. I won't give any spoilers. Stick around until the end.
All right. Next up, Jocelyn Thompson rules 20-minute 2000s walk from the 21st of September. We got that from our friend Bertha C Runs MD. She said, not just for Amanda's birthday shout out, but also for the bops on the playlist. She mentioned Sean Paul, Shaggy, Bruno Mars on there, and her amazing commentary during the Pussycat Dolls song.
She's a gem, an absolute gem. And I'll round it off, folks. Maddie Majacomo's 30-minute Moulin Rouge run. Also on the 21st, it was my finale to my birthday stack, and it dropped at 7 p.m. It was recommended by not only myself, but Robin Ra and Mile High Esquire. And as I said earlier, I loved Maddie's, just commentary on the show, how much knowledge he had, what he knew. Each song, there was something that he could add to it. It was just beautiful. And there was no question that he was in his element, absolutely in his element. So definitely a run worth taking. And by the end of the day, I was doing a little bit more walking than running, but it was so beautiful. So definitely recommend to do it. And I guess, John, that wraps it up. That gives you guys everything for this week. Again, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch or listen. We always, as we say, like to give you what you guys are looking for as far as what's going on in the Peloton world for the week. So thank you for taking the time to listen. And from me here, Bye now. Bye for now, everybody.
Yep. For me here in Michigan, appreciate you tuning in to our 100th episode, and hopefully many more to come. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag, and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.